In this video, we're gonna cover the top 3 mistakes many dog owners are making with their small dogs that make living with these small dogs a living hell. We're talking about these little dogs barking like freaking banshees, running at the end of the leash, trying to kill everything in their path. And in this video, not only are we gonna point out those 3 things that you're doing wrong, we're also gonna show you how to flip it on its head so that you could take a dog like little Miss Mina here, the toy Pomeranian, who's just as cute as can be, here, there, and everywhere, and be the best behaved dog you could ever ask for. We're talking about talk of the town. How did you get that little dog to be so well behaved? Well, in this video, we're gonna show you exactly how we do that, but make sure you stick around to the end, because at the end, we're gonna point out the #1 thing that I can almost guarantee you are doing with your small dog that makes it a living hell. Let's get into it. It's time to talk about how many of you small dog owners let your little dogs get away with absolute murder. You let them get away with things that we would never allow a larger dog to do. What kind of things are we talking about? Pulling on the leash, lunging, jumping on people, growling. Big dogs like that would either get training ASAP, or worse, they end up going back to the shelter, or even worse, getting put down when you guys don't catch it early and put a stop to the shenanigans. But with little dogs, somehow it's cute when they jump on you. Somehow it's cute when they snarl and snap and resource guard and are possessive over toys and treats and people and place. And I'm here to let you know that the BS needs to stop. I see it coming from a mile away. Y'all got these little dogs and you're treating them like little princes and princesses, forgetting that it's still a dog and it can be trained to the same level as any other dog on the planet, regardless of breed, regardless of size. I was a police officer for almost 20 years, and let me tell you, if a 6'6" male robbed someone, they went to jail. Oh, but if they're 4' nothing, they can get away with it. No, you go to jail the same way. If you commit a crime, you go to jail. Same with the little ones. I don't care what size you are. By the way, if I haven't mentioned it already, they don't know that they're small. You think she knows she's small? She's a feisty little devil, and if you allow her to, she will be a little turd. But we keep her in check. We train her to a high level, the same as Mr. Thanos right here. He behaves, she behaves, regardless of the gender, regardless of the size, regardless of the breed. Stop making excuses for your little dog. Get it trained so it's polite, so people aren't talking shit behind your back. I'm just talking shit to your face. Get your little dogs fixed. Next thing on the list that I'm almost certain you're guilty of is using this god-awful device that man created called the pee pad. Tell me how it makes sense to teach your dog at any age, at any size, that it's okay to pee and poop in your house. Let me switch it on you. If I came over to your house and I had to relieve myself, is it normal for me to use the restroom in your living room? No. That would be gross. It's the same if you allow your dog to pee and poop in the house. You're establishing, especially at a young age, at a foundational level, that it's okay to pee and poop in your house. Well, guess what? Dogs don't understand a gray area. They understand black and white. They can either pee and poop in your house or they can't. So for those of you who think it's okay to teach your young puppy, regardless of size, in the early days, the most important, vital stages of teaching your dog something, that peeing and pooping anywhere in your house is okay and it's encouraged, you're setting you and your dog up for a lifetime of failure. Instead, we show you inside of our Puppy Essentials course how to potty train any dog of any age, of any size, how to pee and poop outside in as little as 24 to 48 hours so it sticks. It's natural. This is unnatural, and you guys will notice, those who've used it or been over to your Aunt Betty's house who uses these things with her little out-of-control puppies, the house always smells like pee and poop.
Oh, it stinks in here.
Stan!
Why is that? Pee pads or no pee pads, they have horrible aim, just like your husband who doesn't lift up the toilet seat in the middle of the night. You come back to a mess. So even if they are trained to use a pee pad, they almost never hit the target. There's pee and poop everywhere. If you don't pick them up, which many of you don't, the dog's not stupid. It doesn't want to lay in its own urine. This is a clean one, don't you worry. So what they do is, this one's filled with pee and poop, so they go to the next one. Where's the next one? Oh, it's right here, except that's your rug, that's your carpet, that's your furniture, and that smell never comes out. Once you start down this path of peeing and pooping in your house, very difficult to reverse it. So for any of you who are saying, yeah, but Garrett, I live in an apartment on the umpteenth floor, I say to you, then get your fat ass outside, go down those stairs, take your dog with you, and let them pee outside where they belong to do it. That's the natural way. So get your dog potty trained. For the love of God, stop using pee pads. So how do we stop those bad behaviors? Well, let me walk and talk you through how we do it with a big dog, and then we'll figure out how to do it with a small dog. Very simple formula. We're gonna teach the dogs, stop doing dumb things that are unacceptable. And better said, here's something better you can do with your life. You can sit down, heel, focus, place, anything other than jumping on Aunt Betty and spilling those beautiful deviled eggs. Now, what about with a small dog? How do we do that? The same exact way. Proper tools, proper training, proper technique. Let me walk and talk you through it right now. First thing we're gonna do is positive reinforcement. We're gonna use food and treats to teach little Miss Mina what we want her to do. How to sit, how to down, how to place, how to heel, all the beautiful things. But I'm a realist. Small dogs, just like big dogs, in the face of a big distraction, or when you have no treats on you that are more powerful than the distraction that is present, all that training seems to go out the window. You can smooch and click your little clicker and wave all the treats you want. Your dog's not going to listen to you. Therefore, we must underscore all of that positive reinforcement training, what we call balance training. How do we do that? Once again, proper tools and techniques. What kind of tools are we talking about? A slip lead, so that I can make her do what I ask her to do, so she learns that it's not optional, it's mandatory. What about the prong collar? You know we're going to use these on big dogs. What about small dogs? Abso-freaking-lutely yes. In fact, it might even be more important to use it on a small dog than a big dog. Why? Because this has more bite. This has more power, allowing me to manipulate her and teach her right from wrong using literal less than fingertip pressure. She only weighs 5 pounds. In fact, she's smaller than some of the chickens we have out in our yard. And you know how fragile chickens can be. They got little thin bones. So does she. So if she's hooked up to a harness on a flexi leash and she goes to do something stupid and I give her like a leash pressure correction on a level 2 out of 10, man, that might give her freaking whiplash and send her to the veterinary's office with broken bones. We can't have that, folks. So instead, if you use a prong collar, use the slightest little pressure possible. No, you can't do that. You can't jump. You can't do that. You can't bark. Now, speaking of barking and speaking of using the least amount of force possible, the e-collar, baby. Oh my God, did Garrett go there? Hell yeah, I went there. We're going to use e-collars on big dogs. Why can't we use them on small dogs? In fact, my argument is you should definitely use them on a small dog. Number one, to get rid of that abhorrent barking. There is no better tool on the market or training technique to stop the out-of-control banshee barking that these little dogs do than with a properly conditioned e-collar. Now, having said that, going back to the same principle, if they're so fragile and so susceptible to having a broken bone or injuring themselves, why not be able to reach out and touch them with the e-collar without ever even having to touch them? When properly conditioned, you can get so much accomplished with this tool without ever hurting your dog or putting them in any position where they can injure themselves. And you can get that wonderful on and off-leash reliability that is absolutely vital to their health and well-being. Say, what are you talking about? Because I know the folks just like you maybe that have those little dogs that don't listen to anything. There's a knock at the door, the front door opens, and they rip out the front door like a freaking bat out of hell. And I don't know about you, but I don't think little dogs are prone to not getting hit by a car. They're gonna get hit by a car just as much as a big dog, and I would rather teach a dog at the right age with the right conditioning that you have to listen. When I say stay, you have to stay. When I recall, you have to recall. First time, every time. I'd much rather use this tool to guarantee it than risk any dog of any age or any size getting hit by a car because of a lack of training. And any trainer out there that tells you that you can get 100% reliability without the use of proper tools like an e-collar is lying to you. Send them my way, we'll have the debate all day. If you want 100% reliability with your dog, small or big, you gotta use proper training, proper tools, proper techniques. Last thing I wanna talk about is your belief that your dog being less than good enough is somehow good enough. Your small dogs are capable of so much more. They can be trained to the same exact high level and standards of any dog of any breed, regardless of their size or their breed. In fact, I would argue in some instances it's easier to train these small dogs. They're not stupider, they're just as smart and many times even smarter. They're capable of being service dogs. They're capable of being the great little guardian dogs and putting on that big show of force, that bark that allows you to go get whatever it is you have in your nightstand to defend you and yours. And lastly, what I would say is because you get the proper training, then you can take little dogs like Miss Mina here, there, and everywhere because they are a joy to bring around and not an embarrassment. Because trust me when I tell you, when your dog's acting like a fool, we can see it. Stop allowing it. Expect more. Dogs, little or big, never just rise to the occasion. They always fall to the lowest level that you accept. And if you're accepting a bunch of BS, that's all you're ever gonna get. If you want your little dog to live their best life possible, train them to a high standard, give them a job to do, reward them for that great job, and take them everywhere with you because they've earned it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. If you wanna learn how to train your little dog or big dog to be the best that they can be, you know where to find us, DIYcanine.com. We'll see you in the next video.